Whenever there's an all-new version of a car, you'll find a lot of debate whether the old one or the new one is better. Well, today I'm going to answer that question for you. I have a 2017 Accord Touring and the all-new 2018 Accord Touring with the 2-liter turbo engine. So is the new one really that much better than the old one? That's what we're here to find out. So the main difference between the new one and the old one, besides the styling, is underneath the hood, where the top engine is now a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. The V6 is gone, and now this engine shares the same block as the beloved Honda Civic Type R. Different turbos, of course, different exhaust tuning, different ECU. It makes 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, because there's no more heavy V6 over the front, the weight distribution is better and it's a little bit lighter. This is about 180 pounds lighter than the old one. And fuel economy is also much better. This is rated at between either a 6-speed manual or a new 10-speed automatic transmission. All Accords are front-wheel drive. And now moving over to the old one, first thing you're going to notice when you lift up the hood, it has hydraulics, and Honda has typically saved that for 6-cylinder Accords, so that's where the new one kind of is losing to the old one already. Now, obviously, there's a lot of more engine in here. This is a 3.5-liter V6. It has IV tech, but no direct injection. This motor is part of the J-Series engine family. We all know and love this engine. It makes 278 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you're keeping score, this has like 25 more horsepower than the new one, but the new one has a lot more torque, like another 20-ish pound-feet of torque compared to this one. Now, this also runs on regular gas. The sedan only comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission. If you guys bought the coupe, which nobody bought the coupe, it had a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. Fuel economy is rated at 20 in the city, 31 on the highway with this one. So the 2-liter turbo gets better gas mileage. This, however, weighs like around 3,600 pounds. So it's almost 200 pounds heavier versus the new one. Styling is always subjective. However, the 9th generation Accord, when it got refreshed in 2016, was universally praised as a handsome car. This particular one that I'm showing you is a touring model. It's the only model with LED headlights as standard, with LED turn signals and LED daytime running lights. Now, first of all, you're going to notice there's a lot of chrome on the front end, not necessarily my taste. You do have LED fog lights, and this particular polished metal color certainly makes the Accord look a lot more conservative, a lot more handsome. But really, the new car compared to this looks a lot lower. This one sits up a little bit higher. The hood is a little bit higher. Another thing I'm noticing, some of the electronics, like this car has the Honda sensing. It's not quite as integrated as well. I mean, you have a sensor here for the radar down in the lower bumper, which is offset. And then if you look in the windshield, there's like multiple cameras there. It almost looks like they added it at the last minute, which they kind of did. The previous generation didn't have the Honda sensing, so it's not quite as well integrated as the new one. Now, if you want to look over at the new one, the design certainly is going to have to take some getting used to. You have a lot of the new design elements that we saw on the Civic. It's got a lot of chrome on the front because this is the Touring. The sport trims will have a black grille. All Accords will have LED headlights as standard. The Touring has upgraded LEDs where they're full LEDs versus just partial LEDs on the other trims. LED fog lights as well. And then you can see over here, they really well integrated the Honda sensing radar sensor, which, you know, it looks kind of funny how it actually says it there, but I'm actually kind of curious how on states where it requires you to have a center plate where it's going to go, it needs to obviously sit up higher and not block the sensor, otherwise it's not going to actually work. Looking at the rest of the profile, the hood you can see is much wider looking, it's a lot lower, there's more creases, and the sensors also, they're much better integrated into the windshield as opposed to the old model. It's just kind of showing you how Honda has learned to make the technology be a little bit slimmer. Now, looking around the sides, this is where the big differences are between the old one and the new one. The new one, obviously, it looks longer when it's actually not. It's a little bit shorter. The wheelbase is 2 inches longer. These 19-inch wheels, they're attractive. However, a lot of you say that the wheels on the old one look better. I actually kind of agree with you guys. They are good-looking wheels, but this area here is really the biggest difference. Really takes that fastback roof design where they took a lot of coupe styling elements and put it on this new one. It's polarizing at first, but honestly, when you see it in person, it's it's attractive in its own way. I imagine a lot of you are going to get used to it. The taillights are probably the area where I think the old one, it just looks a lot better. These taillights have an interesting shape. Honda wanted to make it look a little bit different, of course. And then the exhausts. I think the exhausts look good on either model. You know, these are a little bit more flush integrated versus if you look at the rear of the old one, the exhausts are a little bit, or they're more traditional. They're the traditional oval shape. And then you have a really nice looking, you know, rear spoiler on the Touring, which you don't get on the new one actually. That's only on the Sport trim. And then as you can see here, it's just a much cleaner looking design, and it's going to take some getting used to. I imagine a lot of you probably think this looks better. I would probably agree with you, but again, the new one has a much more sleeker design overall, and it's just going to take some getting used to. So styling is great and all, but the big question that you all are probably dying to know, is the new 2-liter turbo quicker than the old 3.5-liter V6? Well, we're going to get out on the road and we're going to do a little quick performance comparison. So my camera guy and I found a really straight open stretch of road where we had the local law enforcement actually close down the road, and we're going to actually show a quick little acceleration run between the V6, the old one, and the 2-liter turbo that I'm driving. I'm actually going to switch. First I'm going to start out in the turbo, the new one, and then I'm going to switch to the old one, and we're going to find out exactly which one is faster in a straight line. All right, you ready? Are you ready? Yep. 1.
I'll say 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling on him. I am pulling on him. All right, so the first run, you guys saw the new one is faster. So just to prove a point to make sure that the new one is faster, now I've switched to the old Accord, and we're gonna see if this one is actually the slower one. I'm still losing. No, I'm still losing. He's pulling away from me. Holy crap. Wow. We were pretty close, but I still lost. So if you guys have the old V6 Accords, you better make sure that you don't play with any of the 2-liter turbos, because unfortunately, this one is a little slower, unfortunately. It's pretty close, but yeah. So during the presentation yesterday, Honda executives bragged about how the new 4-cylinder turbo was indeed faster than the old 3.5-liter V6. And after seeing the video 2 acceleration runs in, the V6 was indeed slower than the new 2-liter engine in this 2018 Accord. And what you guys didn't see is behind the scenes, we actually did a couple more runs, and each time this new Accord pulled away from the old V6. So if you guys were skeptical about the V6 and how it's been replaced by this, no need to be skeptical anymore. This is indeed faster and gets. It's not to say the V6 was a bad car. In fact, if you guys remember an old review I did back on a 2014 Accord Coupe V6 manual, that actually belonged to my camera guy who replaced it with a Civic Type R, which essentially has the same engine with a 6-speed manual, just tuned differently, of course. So unless you have the 6-speed manual V6 Accord, you probably should be worried when one of these 2-liter turbo Accords in the 10-speed auto pulls up next to you. Hope you guys have enjoyed this quick little comparison test between the old and new Accord. If you guys are also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.